This cow's come in and she's seriously lame. We spotted her on the way in and I wanted to make sure that we kept an eye on which cow it was coming up the race. And as you can see, the problem is not obvious. This is the Hoof GP and hopefully we can find out what's wrong with this cow. It's not immediately apparent what's wrong with this cow's hoof, but we've all just witnessed her walk out of the shed, so we all know that she is in incredible pain. We also know it's this back right foot that's given her the problem, because she can barely bring herself to even touch the ground with this hoof. The problem's now become obvious to me. Is it obvious to you? This cow has a pocket of infection within the white line of that outer claw, and these problems are extremely hard for the cow to hide from. This cow literally couldn't touch the ground with this foot, so I knew it was going to be something like this. Poor girl was in agony. On the perfect cow's foot, the sole of the hoof is only around 5mm thick, so when you have a problem like this and need to remove overburdening hoof horn, you're working within really tight constraints, and if we break those boundaries, if we go too far, we're going to create a seriously major problem for this cow. See that hole right there? That tracks all the way up to her corium. The corium is the fleshy part of her foot within the hoof capsule. It's the bit that everybody used to call the quick in years gone by, but now it sounds much more technical and like we really know what we're talking about if we call it the corium. The quick's job, its sole purpose in life, is to form or grow all of the sole horn that we can see right now. So all of the hoof horn that we can see on the base of the foot has been formed by the quick, or the corium. So if anything bad happens to it, it can be absolutely cataclysmic for the cow's future. If we peer up into this hole, we can see there is still overrun, overburdening, or overhanging hoof horn. Either way we put it, it's detached hoof horn that needs to be removed. So we apply the block and then crack out the knife. It kind of looks like we've gone as far as we need to go, but we can see there is still actually dirt within that hole, and there is still detached hoof horn. If you look around the edge that I'm working on right now, you'll see there's some translucent hoof horn, and you can see that there's grey parts. That grey part lets me know that it's detached, and there's a space underneath this hoof horn. And as we're all just about to see, I was right to go a little bit further. It's amazing. This looked like it was a healthy foot when we first picked it up, and now look what we found going all the way right down to our corium. I think it actually tracks right up the front wall, but we're not going to take much more than that. We'll just reduce the height of here. And here's the moment that will make the real difference to the cow. If we watch as this claret begins to appear, look within it. There's pus flowing out of that cavity. And as you can see, that claret isn't very claret at all. In fact, it's really dark, and that lets us know that there's an infection within there. But our time as a hoof trimmer comes to an end. We don't go any further than this, and even if we were allowed to, we still wouldn't, because this is far enough. Now if we flash a before and after up on the screen here, it looks much worse after the trim is complete, but she's going to be way more comfortable and she will be on the road to recovery, and that's what matters. That's a functional cattle hoof trim. This cow was incredibly lame, but she couldn't even touch the ground. And problems like this arise from cows turning tight corners or slipping or bashing themselves, and they get an abscess in behind that hoof wall. And that hoof wall cannot flex properly, so the abscess builds up pressure and becomes incredibly sore for the cow. By removing that overburdening horn and therefore removing the pressure build-up, we have reduced this cow's pain levels. And hopefully, she should be able to put weight on this when she walks out of the crutch. If we just glance back to how she was before the trim, Clearly she's in a huge amount of pain and doesn't want to touch the ground. Here's how she is now. Clearly she is not perfect, but I for one am very happy with how this trim turned out. Thanks for watching guys, we'll catch you on the next one.